let's talk about Bottega. I've already done my reviews and given my thoughts, so I really want to know what you think about Bottega. Just Louise Trotter's what she's been doing at Bottega.
I think it's I really enjoyed this collection on so many ways. I like the accessories a lot. Again, there was this weird leather, knitted leather thing that she, like a collar by itself, which I love. I found very interesting. I like the texture that she used, the silhouettes a lot. What else can I say? It's very, I mean, I like Bottega in general with different creative directors, to be honest. Each one
Yeah.
brought different things, and I think she's on the same level with the previous ones. So for me, she represents a very modern woman. I like the dresses, the construction in general. You can tell they're beautiful clothes, and there is innovation in there on the details, of course. What else can I say about that? Let me remember specific pieces of the collection. I like the styling. I don't know. I found it very, very grounded and very innovative at the same time. Not, I mean, not that it's like nobody, I think, can present something that we've never seen before. This is like almost impossible. But
Yeah.
the detail as she worked, of course, because it's also is leather, it's a little bit tricky because some pieces might be leather, but they don't look like leather on the screen.
Yeah, she
That's
had those like really interesting techniques where she would make like fringes out of leather, but it would be like
this
really
thing.
tiny fringes.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to look up close to really notice.
and
That was like a big technique that was
exactly.
in the collection. It was a lot about like fabric manipulation, which is what Bottega is. It's a lot about like materiality, to be honest, and like
Yeah.
how you can transform different things. And of course, it's always about the leather. It's always going to be that. It's always going to be about the craft. And I think she really brought that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like it reminds me a little bit of Jill Sander. I mean, recently Jill Sander, which is unfortunately the couple left, so now it's bad.
Maybe
But
we can talk
uh,
about that later, because obviously Simone Bellotti had his Jill Sander debut, which we can get to later. But
yeah,
I don't think I've have I talked about that on this channel yet? I don't think so.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, it's also one big
That's
technique that they
disturbing.
used. So I was just gonna say one big technique that they used in this collection that everyone was
Yeah.
talking about were those dresses that were made out of recycled fiberglass. That was really cool. Yeah, these
Ah,
pieces
this
here.
fiber case, so
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah. I don't know how wearable that is, or if it's like how it sits on the skin, underneath, if there is like a kind of lining for that. Like if it's really wearable and if you're going to produce
yeah.
it, right?
She said she wanted it to have the feeling and the movement of, but it is actually recycled fiberglass. I want to know what that feels like on the
Yes,
skin.
exactly, yes.
And is it like how heavy is it also?
I wish they would produce these pieces because sometimes it's so disappointing. You see fantastic things, you get excited, and then they don't. You never see them. They don't
Yeah.
produce. And this is another thing sometimes with collections.
Wait, someone said Jill Sander lost control of the brand, a living tragedy. Yeah, Jill
Yeah,
Sander doesn't even have the rights to her own name. Like they bought the rights to her own name. She can't even trade as herself. She has to trade as like J plus or like Jill plus Sander plus. That's why when she did the collaboration with Uniqlo, it was J plus. She can't use the name Jill Sander. She doesn't own the rights to her own name, which is insane, by the way.
it's saying yeah.
That's one thing about having a business that's named after you. If someone buys that business from you, you don't have the rights to use your own name. It's a bit crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Uni says, I like the punk feel, the fiberglass pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
This
talk
is example,
about,
and if you can produce it, that makes it even better. I would wear that.
yeah, let me just bring up, because I actually
But
want to
like this
talk
kind of
about,
collection for me is difficult to judge, as you say, the technical aspect, because I'm sure close up there is much more than we can see. Like you said, the fiberglass or other things that she used. It's difficult to see what the fabric exactly is from here. But already looking at it, it's very promising, I think.
yeah. Even like, what was it? There was like a cape also that was like, you have to look closely to see the details. Someone actually, when I did the initial review, someone was like, oh, those crocodile pieces are actually crocodile leather, which is quite interesting because those are like really hard to do, especially in a coat.
Yeah. But I mean, very often, unless the techniques are very particular and new techniques, you can see if something is good or not. You said that, in the comment that it was talked about, like Gautier, that you were
Yeah.
not there. I don't need to be there to see how bad they're made. I mean, you did the receipt, but me, I don't need to, and I'm sure you don't need to, because from the movement already and the way it's cut, you can tell it's not well made. I mean,
Yeah.
besides the silhouette and everything else, that in my opinion, it looked way too cartoonish and gimmicky, and we go beyond clothes. There, it's like something else. But sometimes, we like on this collection, I would want to be there because it
Right.
is. You will see up close beautiful clothes and how they're made. I mean, to a degree. Then you have to really go close and somebody explains to you how it's done. And I would like that brands do that, actually, to be honest with you. You know, that there is like some kind of press release where like we know
Yeah.
what the clothes are about, because otherwise we cannot fully appreciate. It might look
Yeah.
like a simple thing, but maybe it's not. So this is good in terms of technicality, how it's made, like not the details of it, but like what is the innovation in there. I would like to see that much more often, instead of us trying to figure out what it is exactly.
This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.